I don't know, number 12.
Who did we speak to yesterday?
Dave Edmondson Bird was 11, and we had number 12. And then I just write podcast in my diary because it's easier.
Yeah, so we had Victoria yesterday. Numbers. She was number 17, I think. Yeah, this is where's my list?
Dan Sodergren
was 16.
16.
Yeah, number 18. Hello. Again, Billy Connolly. I said, hello.
Billy Connolly.
Can't help it. Every time I do it, hello there. Ahoba. Welcome to Brown and Marsh. You're the best podcast, frankly, in the universe, presented by blokes called Brown and Marsh. I think we're fairly safe in that one. It's episode 18. Yes, I did check before we started today. Actually, I didn't. We stopped and then I looked it up and we started again. And I don't know what else to say, really, because we did one of these yesterday. I know you're not going to hear it until a week later, and we've got another one tomorrow, so my head gets a bit mashed up after a while. We don't do them for 2 weeks, then we do 15 in 2 days. So it's a beautiful day. It's just not long after the bank holiday weekend. The sun's in the sky, there's a song in my heart, and I've got Christopher by my side. Hello, Christopher.
Hello, Ross. What more can I say than just to sort of repeat what you just said, that we've got lovely blue skies, and isn't life wonderful when everything's clear and bright and beautiful?
So you've got nothing to say either, have you?
Not really.
We talked briefly about the football.
That's why we've been guessing, isn't it? Yeah.
That is why we've been guessing, because we're quite boring. All right, well, let's jump straight in. I've got a tip of the week.
Have you?
I have got it. I know, I've already thought of one.
Go on.
It's because it's something that winds me up. And I don't think people always realise this. Or maybe they do, and they like winding me up. Sales and marketing. Sales and a marketing director. They're two different jobs. You know what I mean? You're well, I don't know if you're shaking, but I think you're shaking in that, yes, it's a bad idea. I agree. Yes. Yeah. Sales is not marketing. I'm a marketing guy. You're a sales guy.
Yeah.
I couldn't do your job. And exactly.
No, I'm not a marketing.
But that's why companies need both of us. Yes. Little hint there that you need both of us. Marketing is a completely different function.
Yeah.
Marketing's job is to bring people to the party, and the sales guys is to, corral them up and get them to sign things. I understand the sales process, and sales and marketing should talk. Should definitely talk. They should be each other's best mates. If sales have got a gut of a certain product, they speak to marketing about ideas to help get rid of it.
Yeah.
Or they're going to launch a new product, or if marketing going, I'm thinking this crazy idea, would that fit with your clients that you talk to? But they're not the same job. So stop advertising for a sales and marketing director. You'll get a salesman who thinks he can use Canva. Yeah. And that's what will happen.
That's it. I agree. I think
thank you very much.
They're complementary, but they're not the same. They're not the same. They're two different things. So
what have you got, Christoph?
Well, I'll just going to sort of reiterate onto that. I was brought into one of my more recent jobs before I went self-employed was to sort of bridge the gap between the marketing department and the sales team. It was quite a large organisation, so we did have a large marketing team, maybe 20 people, and similar in the sales team, but they were on a different floor. So I had to almost sort of bridge the gap.
Literally go up the stairs?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sometimes sit upstairs and sometimes sit downstairs, and just sort of bridge the gap and just make sure they were saying the same things. That they were listening to the clients. That the communication and the wording was consistent. And that it was consistent with what was being written on the website, and that was coming out of the salespeople's mouths, and that what the salespeople were being asked was put back to the marketing team to make sure that we were putting that in as part of our marketing collateral. So I couldn't agree more. Is they complement each other and they work well together, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah. So go on. Have you got anything? Or?
My tip, something slightly different. We were talking yesterday about consistency, and I don't know if I've mentioned visibility creates opportunity.
It is your catchphrase, Chris. So probably once an episode. That's why I bought you a mug with it on.
I know. Oh, I've left it downstairs again. I was going to bring it up and show our guests.
I bought you a mug for your birthday with visibility creates opportunity on. If I tell my girlfriend I've been speaking to Chris, she goes, which one? I go, visibility, Chris. She's convinced we're having an affair because she texts me at all times of day and night.
Yeah, VCO. Yeah. So my tip of the week is something that I think about occasionally and try and do naturally, if that makes sense. But it's remembering small details when I'm having conversations. If I'm networking, I meet someone and they tell me something minute. Something, we're going to hire a salesperson in the next 6 months, or we're doing this with the business. Just remember those little things so that when I do go back to him, if I connect with him on LinkedIn or arrange a coffee, bring that up. Oh, remember you said you're going to hire a salesperson. How's that going? What's the recruitment process look like? Have you found anyone? I'll listen out for you if you like. And just show that if you're showing attention and you're being attentive, you can set yourself aside from somebody else, and you're showing that you
give a damn.
You give a damn. You're setting their importance. You're making them feel important as well. I think people remember how you made them feel. So remember the small details.
I remember a guy I used to work with, and this is going to show both my age and how old this story is. He used to have a thing wherever he'd meet somebody new, he would then sort of duck away for a minute and get out his Palm Pilot, because this is before smartphones, and would write a little note in it, about met Dave. Dave's got 3 kids, married to, Kate, etc., etc. Just people are like, well, it's very cold, isn't it? You should be able to remember these things. And he's like, well, I can't, and I won't, but I want to. And it wasn't just a sales thing. He just wanted to be a bit nicer. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, if it means you have to write them down, put a little note in your diary 6 months ahead, ring Bob. Bob was looking for a new salesperson. Why not? Yeah. It shows you give a shit.
Yeah, that's it. Absolutely.
Give a shit. That's the word.
Just give a shit. That's the tip of the day. Just
visibility creates opportunity. Give a shit. Thank you very much. The T-shirts are available from brownandmarsh.co.uk. We're waffling even more so than usual. So should we bring on our delightful guest?
Shall we?
Delightful guest, please introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you do.
Hello. Who I am and what I do. I am Caroline Leon. People think it's Leon. It's pronounced Leon because it's Spanish, just so you know.
See.
And what am I? I'm a business coach for what I call conscious change makers. So I was fascinated
in
by
English?
So business coach, that's pretty...
Well, yeah, all right. I got that bit, Caroline, yeah.
So conscious change makers for me, I mean, I specifically work with service-based online businesses. And by change maker, I'm talking people who are coaches, other coaches, consultants, healers, teachers, people who are basically trying to change the world for the better. Yeah. And the conscious kind of alludes to, I like to say spiritually inclined. So, that sense of there's a bigger picture and, and be kind and give a shit, basically.
You're on the right show.
Exactly. Yes, and I help them build and grow sustainable online businesses using ethical strategies. So I kind of that's my niche, if you like. I kind of really hone in on the sort of ethical piece. So yeah, in a nutshell, and I'm a mama as well. That's a big role.
That's a fairly large commitment. With how old are your kids?
9 and 6. 2 boys as well. Because let me just say, 2 boys is different to
okay.
Other.
And we should say that you are located. Whereabouts in Spain are you? You don't have an address, Kaz, don't worry. Just
well, people always know Barcelona, so I'm about 200 kilometers south of Barcelona.
Okay.
And sort of between Barcelona and Valencia, if you know, or Valencia, if you don't. No,
it's all right. You can say Valencia. We're cultured here and everything.
But
Barcelona and Valencia.
Barcelona.
No, I don't. That's weird. No? I don't think they do.
So you say Valencia, but not Barcelona.
Maybe it's the Catalan thing, because Barcelona is in Catalonia, and they speak a different. So I studied Spanish all my life, and now I bloody live in the one part of Spain where they don't speak Spanish.
Oh, do they not?
No, they speak Catalan.
Oh, of course. Sorry, it's still Catalan there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. We're right on the edge. Like the next town is literally Spain. Yeah. It's like.
It's weird when you go to Barcelona and you sit down in a restaurant and there's a menu and they're being Castilian, Catalan, and then English, and you're looking at the Catalan and the Castilians, basically the Catalan and the Spanish, and you're going, there's just a few differences, but somebody's being picky here because it's not different. You could understand it from the other way around, I'm sure. But yes, they're very proud people in Barcelona, aren't they? Or
Yes.
Barcelona.
Yeah, well, they were persecuted, the Catalans, for many
Yeah.
years, so they're a bit angry with them.
A bit angry. That's what we're putting.
With Madrid, let's say.
Yes. Yeah. Should we do politics or should we talk about being a conscious coach? Yeah, we'll talk about that. So we've known each other for quite some time. Obviously, not that long because we're still both in our late 20s.
Quarter of a century.
Yeah, right. Okay. Jesus. I had hair back then. I did, Chris. I had hair. I mean, it was receding, don't get me wrong, but I still had it. And it was dark and everything. So, obviously, I know a bit about your background. Well, most of your background. But just, where did this journey start? Because you don't suddenly pop up one day at school and go, I'm going to be a business coach. So, from school, so, take us right back to, little Kaz in Warrington.
Okay. Well, I won't go back that far, but yes, I went to uni in Leeds, which is how I ended up meeting you. Did politics at uni, and my story of like why I'm here, I would say, starts in in Bram where we used to work, because I was working we're in the PR department. I was asked. I was a raging vegetarian.
Oh yeah.
And I remember being asked. I got put on I was an account exec on a fish. I can't even remember the company name now, but a fish company. What are they called? Young's.
Oh, Young's. Yeah, it was Young's.
Was it Young's?
Yeah. Young's Fish.
And I remember my account director was like, "Oh yeah, you have to go to the factory and sample the fish." I was like, "I'm not."
I don't think so.
And then another client I worked on was a chemical plant. So we had to write a press release defending the chemical plant wanting to open a plant next to a school. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it. So I was like, okay, I think I need to like be able to choose who like what causes I'm supporting if I'm going to work in PR. So that led me down the path of like seeking out like not-for-profits, and I went from Leeds, working there, went to London, and I was the press officer for St John Ambulance. They're those folks that go to the football matches.
It's a bit more cuddly, isn't it? It's a bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, lovely.
I can defend those folks. And then from there, I went to I was comms manager for a charity, a disability charity, and I worked there for years. And then I went from there to RNIB. So I was like really in the charity sector, like that was important.
Touchy-feely.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not knocking it at all.
No. So yeah, for me, that sense of I want to do something that means something. I want to have a positive impact on the world was really important. And then, as you may have experienced, I don't know, but you get to a point and you're like, I'm not having an impact. Like I'm like basically
I'm selling a few more tins of beans, but
I was in my like kind of last job. I was a program manager, and I used to joke that was like the best paid data inputter. I just was like reporting to the board. I was just like, this doesn't feel. I'm like on paper it's successful, but I just don't feel like I'm making a difference. I don't feel like I'm. So I was like, I'm gonna, and then. That was around 2009, and that's when like the blogging world was like taking off, not quite in England. People were like, "What's a blog?" But I was starting to like follow all these cool bloggers who were like traveling around the world and doing all these amazing things, and like basically deviating from the path, the normal path. And I was like,
nomads before that phrase.
Oh yes. Before that got coined. And I was like, I could do that. I could do that. So, well, first of all, I was like, because I remember the moment I was sat on a tube, I was working in London, I was on the London Underground, and, you sat there, and I remember thinking, and, rush hour on the London Underground is miserable. It's just hell on earth. And everyone sat on the tube, everyone's like, looks miserable. And I was like, aren't we supposed to be the 1%? Aren't we like... we're in the richest city, one of the richest cities in the world, like working for, like this is the pinnacle of success.
You've made it. So why do you quite want to kill people?
Exactly. And I was just like, if this is the pinnacle of success, and I had a good job, well-paid job, I was, quite at the top of my career. I was like, no, it can't be this. And so then I went on this exploration. I was like, okay, what could I do? And I looked into things like, oh, maybe I could be a teacher. Let me send off for the teaching pack. Maybe I could be a social worker. Let me send, because my thing was I want to affect people. I don't want to be so far removed from the front line of helping people.
Yeah.
I want to be right there with the people that I'm helping. So I looked into all things. I volunteered as a youth worker for a while, and I was like, yeah, not that.
Oh no! And now you've got 2 kids.
I know. I was like, not kids. I had
boys.
them very late in life. And then I just started reading things about coaching, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna quit my well-paid career. I'm gonna sell everything I own. I was single at that point. I was in my 30s, but I didn't have anything really keeping me other than my career, which had been so important to me up until that point. So it was madness for me to be like, no, I'm just going to walk away with nothing.
Which reminds me, and I've been meaning to tell you this for decades, I've still got some of your stuff from when you moved down to London.
Have you?
You left some stuff with me. I think I've only got a few books left, but every now and again I'll see Love in the Time of Cholera and go, I've never even read that. Oh, it's Kaz's. That's why.
Oh, well, because interestingly, I lost lots of stuff because I put stuff in places.
You left a load of it at my house.
Oh, well, I'll have that back. Thank you very much. I love that book.
I'm not sure. Well, it's around somewhere. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you can't get a copy of Love in the Time of Cholera anywhere.
No,
basically, I'll see a deep and meaningful, proper book of literature. There's nothing to do with Doctor Who. And I go, where's that come from? Oh, it's Kaz's. Yeah, that's it. She left it with me in I think it's when you moved down to London.
Oh, wow, yeah. That was 2001.
Yeah. So 25 years. Should we just say I'll ignore the back rent?
Yeah.
All this, yeah.
You can keep them. Okay. You can read them. Try and read
it. Read it, Ross.
I probably have done by now, I'm sure. Anyway, sorry. So, yeah, you decided, this for a game of soldiers, packed up your little
backpack.
Knapsack. Thank you. I couldn't think of the words. You're backpacking your laptop and went, all right, I'm off that direction.
Yeah. I basically bought a one-way ticket to Thailand. I decided I was going to be a coach. I'd been blogging for a year. So I was like blogging about I got really into personal growth, which was like a shameful secret back then. It was like, oh God, people are going to think I'm into self-help. It was so embarrassing. But I was like, I really, really was into it. And then eventually got over myself, started blogging, decided to be a life coach. Took me a couple of years to, do that. But I basically built a life coaching business living off the grid in Mexico.
Mexico?
Yeah.
I didn't know you went to Mexico.
Lived for a year in Mexico. We house sat. And the internet was so bad, I couldn't have the video on my coaching calls. I could only do the audio. So, yeah. And then we just got to the point where we're like, okay, we want Western toilets, air conditioning, and proper windows. We're done with the tropics.
Proper windows? Oh.
Proper windows,
You've changed. You've got so posh. What's wrong with
Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi as well.
Isn't it windows?
Yeah. Basic human needs.
Yeah, it is now, I think, one of the basic human needs, isn't it? Shelter, Wi-Fi. So when do things really start to take off for you then? Because obviously there's deciding I'm going to do this, and then there's actually going, I'll do this now.
Yeah. Well, I worked with a coach, which was a game changer. And he was an amazing coach that really kind of helped me do business in a way that was like, service driven, authentic, like kind, just good, lots of outreach, what you were talking about earlier, Chris, about, remembering the details, like just being thoughtful. And so I and I was paying a lot of money. It was not cheap, that coach. And when that really works for me, because I'm just like, if I'm paying this money, I'm going to do what you tell me to do.
She lived in Yorkshire long enough. She picked up our habits.
So, and then what happened was I actually got a bit disillusioned with life coaching because I felt like more of a therapist, and I really love, as you well know, Ross, I like telling people what to do. I'm really opinionated. So life coaching isn't great for that because you're supposed to, ask
guide people rather than
questions. Yes. And then what happened was it was going okay. And people who I was training with, doing my kind of coach training with, would say to me, how are you getting, like, would you coach me on the client side of things? Because I'm not getting any clients. And I was, because I was working with this amazing coach. So I was like, yeah. And then I realized I loved that. I loved supporting other coaches to
telling people what to do.
Yeah, telling people. Basically, it is, in a nutshell.
Wonderful. So go on, you're talking about business development there, I guess. So what were your sort of fundamentals in terms of guiding people or telling people on how to get new clients?
Yeah, well, it's so funny listening to you talk earlier, Chris, because one of my absolute key foundations that I talk about in business is visibility and connection. And that for me is content. So I rarely use the word marketing because my folks are a bit allergic to the idea of marketing because it's so often conflated with selling. So they'll say, like, oh gosh, it like makes me feel nauseous to like sell myself. And I'm like, why are you trying to sell yourself? Like, I don't just create just create really useful content that people like, that helps people. And then sales is something else. The selling piece is something else. And actually everything that I talk to my clients about is I don't really want to sell. So I'm a bit allergic to selling because just because of who I am. I don't know why. It just doesn't sit well with me. And so what I learned to do was do everything else really well so that the sale sort of came to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, and that's what I teach. So, if you create really good, generous, helpful content, typically what happens to me is people find me, it'll often be a word of mouth referral. They'll head to my blog. They'll binge read I've got like nearly 300 articles. They'll binge read my blog, or they'll join my list and get my weekly newsletter. And then it might take a month. It might take, I've had people who've taken years, I've given someone like a gift session in 2018, and then last year they joined a pro. It's crazy how it happens.
Gets them eventually, Chris, is what she's saying.
Yeah, basically.
They bend to her will.
But then when they get on the call, which isn't a sales call, so what I do is I really just coach them. I'm like, tell me about your business, and I'll give you basically my best advice for free. And then 10 minutes before the end, I say, I'd like to work with you if you're interested, And they always say, I was already sold. I'm only on this call because you wanted to talk to me. And they're already sold because they've been consuming my content,
You don't kick yourself at that point going, that's money I've just thrown away. I'm joking.
It's the best way of doing it. I'll be honest with you, and I shouldn't say it on the podcast, but I'll often say,
don't worry.
I'd love to work with you. And I'll say that. I'll be honest with you. I'm not trying to be pushy, but I'd love to say I'm working with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what pushes me over the edge, where people go, "Oh, right, he'd love to work with us."
The thing is, you're only saying it because you mean it. You're not saying it
I'm being genuine, of course. Being genuine. No, I'd love to say I'm working with you.
Yeah, it gets a bit awkward when you wouldn't love to work with them, and then you just say anything. Just like, anyway, that was nice.
Why is it making it sound like a first date? So I'd love to see you again. Yeah, I'm quite busy over the next few weeks. Can I give you a call?
I'll call you.
Yeah.
Well, can I give you my favorite like dating business analogy? Because I often so for me, like the world, a lot of the mainstream marketing advice out there is like, make yourself really attractive and you'll just attract these people, which I think is a load of nonsense. And so my thing is like, it's a bit like someone who's looking for their soulmate, but all they do is spend every hour in the gym sculpting their body and like spend hours like putting their makeup on and go out hoping that they'll be approached, versus getting out there, doing the things that you love, being around people, it's like, so I do see a lot of...
Yeah, lots of crossovers between the personal dating world and the business sort of business development. Indeed. Yeah. I often talk about...
is it visibility creating opportunity, Chris?
Well, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Even with networking, I'll often tell people, I'd rather network with people who are positive and say, I love what I do, I love my job.
Yeah.
You meet someone who says, no, God, I wish my boss told me that I had to come networking, and I'd rather not be. I hate networking. I don't want to spend time with someone like that. I don't want to get to know. And it's the same with dating. It's been a while for me, but you meet someone who says, "I hate my life. I hate my job. I don't get on with my family. I've got money problems. Whatever it is."
Oh, I want to hang out with you.
Yeah, guess what? I don't want to spend any of my time with you. So it's you're still bringing the personal element into it, are you? So again, what I said before, people buy from people, but people remember how you made them feel. So I think that still transcends into business.
Can I say
something? Marketing. Go on. Sorry.
Can I say something on that? Just that, like, one of the things that I've had clients do over the years is like write their list, like what's your criteria for the person in front of you? Because I think with coaches, often you go onto a call and you think you have to sell yourself. It's like you're interviewing for the role of coach, and it's like, no, like what are your non-negotiables? I remember years ago someone getting on a call with me, and she was like, well, I'm interviewing several coaches, so I'll be in touch. And I said, it's a no for me. She was like, what? And I said, top of my list is that you're a hell yes to working with me. Anything less, I'm not interested. And she was so shocked. And it's just like, because of what you said, Chris, it's so important. You can't work with that energy of like, you prove yourself to me, or
constantly. Yeah. It's the same, when I've had clients in marketing, you don't feel like you're begging them to stay, because then you're not doing your best work. Because if you've always got one eye on, oh God, I don't want to say anything they won't like in case they dump me, whether it's a relationship or a business, a client or something like that, you've got to feel comfortable with somebody and that they like you. Not wanting to go out with you every Friday night for a pint, but like being with you, so they're going to listen to you.
Yeah.
This is really turned to be a therapy session.
Well, we've got the right person commenting. So what does your day look like? Your sort of day to day? What a typical day look like for you, Caroline?
Well, let's see. Calls. I'm on a lot of calls because I live in this like tiny little town in Spain. Like my clientele is not local. I can tell you that. They're all over the age of 70. And speak Catalan, so like my like world is online. I'm on. I run group programs, several group programs, and I do a lot of one-to-one coaching. So, typically I'll have 3 or 4 calls a day. I try and keep Mondays and Fridays call free. So Monday's my content day. Friday's what I call my CEO day, which I still don't really know what it means. It's just working on the business.
Working on the business. Yes,
not working in the business.
Yeah, that's good.
So I really prioritize content and what I call content and outreach. So when I talk about visibility and connection, for me, one of the best ways to be visible is content. Get your content out there, and that can be. I've always been a writer. When I was little, people would say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I want to be a writer. And sometimes I think, I am actually. I write all the time. So a big part of my week is working on my piece for that week. I was really excited this week because when I can finish it by Tuesday and schedule it, because it went out this morning, I feel really good about myself versus the weeks when it's like Friday and it's like, shit, I haven't got it out yet.
Yeah.
So that, and outreach for me, it's interesting. I talk a lot about the difference between networking and outreach. I don't like the term networking because it's like working the net, like you're trying to get people.
Chrissy could start crying shortly.
No, because what he does, I think, is what I talk about. So sometimes people will come to me and say, I don't like networking. Like I've got to have my elevator pitch, and I've got to. I don't know why I keep doing air quotes. Cause
I wasn't going to mention it, but it was a bit like, yes, Kaz.
They're not going to hear you. They're not going to see you even. I remember years ago someone saying, I could go or should go to this networking event, but I don't want to because I don't know how to sell myself or say what I do. And I was like, what if you just went and listened to other people? What if you just went and you were really curious about the other people in the room? Like what a difference that would make, because you'd be the one person that wasn't shoving business cards in people's faces. You'd be the person that was present and curious and kind, And so there's networking and there's network. I call it outreach, as a kind of differentiator or authentic outreach. But it's what you're
describing again, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you're dating, it's to find out about her, not tell her all about you.
Exactly.
Yeah, two ears and one mouth is a good analogy with
Yeah.
with sales. I think in general, just
Life
the
in
ability to
general.
listen. Yeah, the ability to listen. I've often said is your biggest sales tool. The
Yeah.
ability to listen and just ask a question and then maybe ask another one and even if they say you tell me, well, hang on a minute, just before I do tell you about myself, can I just ask you about something that you just said there, because that's and again making
You
them
paid
feel good
attention.
about paying attention and making them feel like they're being listened to and they're important and you want to know more about what they've just said. So yeah, that's very powerful in sales.
Yeah. I mean, I always go on. Sorry,
No,
Ross.
after you, Dan. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I always tell the story of, I remember years and years ago, a client coming to me and she was like, oh, you'd be really proud of me. I've made a decision. I'm going to write to everyone in my network and tell them about my new business and like share what I've been up to. And she saw my face and she was like, what am I missing? And I was like, what if you wrote to everyone in your network and said, how are you? What's up in your world? You know, I was like, and the penny dropped and she was like, oh, that's why I pay you. And I was like, it's such a difference.
Yeah.
But so a lot of what my week looks like is doing that in my own business, but then also supporting others to do that kind of stuff. And, you know, it's like, I feel like everything I do is just reframing some of the mainstream ideas people have about sales and marketing, basically.
Yeah,
Well, it's funny.
it's your thing, isn't it, Ross? Yeah,
I was going to say it's touched on what Chris's line is: visibility creates opportunity. You may have heard us mention it once or twice. Basically, it was his birthday a few weeks ago, and I bought him a cup which had caricatures of me and him on with "visibility creates opportunity" across the top. So that's the running joke.
I normally sit here drinking it, but yeah.
Whereas my line is: don't tell me what you can do. Tell me what you can do for me, and that's essentially what you're talking about. It's you go to a load of websites, it's like, we're brilliant, buy our stuff. No. Watch, this is your problem. We can fix it. This is why you care.
Yeah.
And this is essentially that's what a version of what you're saying, which is don't just write to people going, hi, my name's Kaz. I'm fab. Buy stuff from me. It's like, hi, my name's Kaz. What's your issue? Is it something I could help with?
Yeah.
Obviously, Dre's a lot better
helpful.
than that.
Yeah, you're being helpful. A good friend of mine, Rene, he talks about you need to stop weeing all over your website. And when you read it, you're like, what's going on about weeing all over your website? It's just talking about we do this. Actually,
right, okay,
I love
you
that.
need to do this all sort of. Hang on a minute. What are your challenges? What are you trying to do?
Yeah.
And then this is how we can help you because this is our credibility and this is what we've done to help you there. So stop weeing all over your website.
I like both me and Carol. You see the cogs going around going, okay, where's this one going? This just sounds a bit weird, does this? Is it a peeing contest? Is that what they're going to say? Is it something? Anyway. No. But yeah,
credit Rene Power for that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you've got me to connect with him on LinkedIn. Interesting fella. Very interesting fella. So you talked sort of generally about the kind of things you do for clients. But if you have to look back over recent years or maybe in the last 10, 15 years, and I don't need names or anything like that or specific details, but what's the one thing you look back going, that's because of me? What do you look back at? I mean, right, kids. Forget the kids. When it comes to business, yeah, obviously you had quite a large part in, creating the kids. But the business thing, what do you think? They went from there to there, and that's because of the advice I gave. What makes you proudest?
Oh, well, gosh, that's a big question. I mean, I think it's
we go with the big questions here.
Yeah, I think there's two levels to it. Like, so there's clients obviously that I think about. Like, there's one in particular who I've worked with for years, and I absolutely adore. Who I can't remember exactly what she was making when she came, but I think it was like around she was in the States, so around $16,000 a year, something like that. And she would, and now she's six figures. So there's those kinds of things. And what I love about her is it's not, six figures doing something awful. She's a mindfulness teacher. It's like, it's that's what I love about my clients is they're not doing bad things for money. They're doing good things for money. They're like having a positive impact. So, and that was my thing. It's like, if I can help the people who are having a bigger impact on the world, that's what lights me up. That's what makes me feel good. And then on another level, like just a little level, I think so many people come to me and they've been burned by like really what's the word I would use?
Dodgy.
Like, yeah, I was sharky
Yeah.
practice. You know, like they've been in a group program, they paid 10K for it. They promised them they'd be making 10K months, you know, in 6 weeks, and they're devastated because it didn't, you know, not
Well, they're
only did it not,
surprised.
yeah, not only did it not work, but like what they were being told they would have to do to make it work, it just goes against, you know,
Yeah.
their everything. So it's that also is like supporting people, like, and just proving that you can have a successful business and you don't need to sell your soul. You don't need to like trick people. You don't need to manipulate people, you know. So that's the stuff I'm proud of. Or when somebody's like, gosh, I really hated like writing my newsletter and now I love it. Now it's like the highlight of my week, because that's a bit, I always say it's not what you do that matters, it's how you do it. And even more than that, it's like how you feel doing it. And, you know, I'll say to people, because I get pushback a lot, because a lot of my people are quite, you know, spiritual and hippie. And so, you know, they're like, I don't want to be tied to the computer. I don't want to be stuck within a schedule, you know, because I'll talk about
I'm a free spirit man.
yeah, exactly. And I'll talk about consistency sometimes, which is important. If you want consistent income, you do have to be consistent with your kind of like business growth practices. And so again, I'm like, I work really hard with people on, okay, you don't like writing your newsletter or you don't like doing your outreach. Let's look at why. What are you telling yourself? So, you know, I'll go into it. I talk about things like roadblocks and I really support people to shift. Like for me, my blog is my creative practice, or my newsletter. It's like where I get to write, which I love. It's where I get to like share my opinions, which I also love.
Yes, she does. Much so.
And so, you know, it's like, I don't think, oh God, I've got to write this newsletter because otherwise I won't have clients. If I thought like that, of course I'd hate it.
Right.
You know? So it's those things when people feel differently about working in their business than they did before they met me.
Yeah. So it's more about their approach to what that activity is, what they want to get out of it, and
Yeah.
and how they perceive what, you know, or sort of reflect on the day. Well, I did that, and I loved it.
Yeah.
But someone else might look at it and go, oh, I've got to do that, and I've got to do that, and I've got to do that in order to get that outcome.
Yeah.
That feels like a chore. So yeah, it's your perception on it.
I mean, it's like cliche, isn't it? Enjoy the journey, not the destination. But you know, it's like, and this is weird for a business. Honestly, sometimes people come to me and I'm like, I am a bit of a weird business coach because I'm like, forget about sales. You know, like if the minute
Chris,
you're
stop crying. She doesn't mean it.
But I think Chris would agree with this. Like the minute you're like super focused on getting the sale, you kill the energy. You kill it. And so for me, it's all about like, you know, if I'm doing something, like for example, I'll give an example. One of the things I get a lot of my clients to do is what I call gift session campaigns, and it's like, let's really dial in your ideal client, the problem you help them solve, like what, you know, like your dream client that you would love to work with and the issue that you would love to support them with. Let's like call them in and let's do a campaign. We're going to put it out on social media. We're going to say, you've got, you know, in celebration of your birthday or spring or whatever it may be, I'm offering 10 gift sessions of whatever you do, coaching, your modality, whatever it is. And you call those people in. Now, if you do that and you have those 10 calls and your only objective is to get clients, it will bomb. It will fail. But if you do it because you want to give back to your community, you want to understand what people are struggling with, you want to connect with people like the people you'd love to work with, you want to get content ideas for your blog, like there's so many benefits to doing a gift session campaign that is beyond getting the sale.
Yeah.
If you do it from that place, guess what?
Yeah.
People go at the end of the call, how do I work with you?
Yeah, honestly, it works. I've got I call it a biz dev club every other Tuesday, and it's exactly that. I don't charge for it. We just get together online just for half an hour or so, and we talk about business development, what's working, what's not working. But it's just, I say it's to help each other, but I get a lot from it as well. And I'm just trying to drag stuff out from all these different people who work in all these different industries, and they talk about what's not working for them, what the expectation is, where they found success, or just won a client, you know. And it's
You might like it.
I
Kev.
get something from it. I'd love for Caroline to join us at some point.
Get Chris added on LinkedIn afterwards. It's Tuesday, isn't it, the next one?
It is next Tuesday, half past 10 till about 11ish, just after 11. So, like I say, we don't charge for it. It's very relaxed. We just get everyone to speak, but it's exactly that, and that's how I started. This will be my 43rd one on Tuesday, but it's very much how I started. Just giving back, just how can we all help each other, and just get out of these ruts, or inspire each other to make sure that we're doing things in the right way, and that. Even if you are doing it the right way, you can get reassurance from somebody else that, oh yeah, we do that as well, and that works for us. So it's I'm very proud of it, but it's exactly what
nice bunch of people. Usually about 10, 12 of us, something like that.
Yeah, generally.
It's not never that many, but it's enough that it's, everyone gets their, minute or two, don't they, to talk.
Indeed. Yeah. Some more than others.
Yeah. Wow. That felt loaded. I don't know about you, Caroline.
Did you feel seen there, Ross?
I felt picked on.
I need you to speak, Ross. I need you to speak. So there you go. I'm grateful for you, John.
Do you know what's interesting? A lot of what Caroline's saying reminds me of an earlier guest of ours, Rupert Cook. He was one of the number episode 3 or 4, something like that. And he's a creative director, designer, late 50s. And over the last couple of years, he's basically changed from I'll work for any bugger who'll pay me to, and this is his quote, I don't want to work for bastards. Yeah. And he's just essentially, he does work for nice people, does a lot of work for charities. He's not religious, but does a lot of work for the Church of England in a kind of they're good people doing good work. He gets paid for it. It's not, it's not all charitable, but he just got to the point in his life where he went, I don't want to sell more tins of beans. I want to work for nice people. Essentially you got there 20 years before him I want to work for nice people who matter and are doing good things. Yeah. And I do think there's a lot in that. We've all worked for clients we'd rather we hadn't done, whether it's, fish processing or whatever. Yeah. But it's a nice position to be in. You can go, actually, I don't like what you do. I don't want to work for you. Or I don't want to work for you anymore because you've crossed a line. And it's must be a great position to be in where you can not pick and choose, but pick and choose to some degree. I don't like you. I'm not working for you. I'm not going to prostitute myself just to make a few quid out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was more a statement than a question. Sorry.
Well, we are asking a lot of deep questions there, aren't we? I was just going to ask you what your favourite colour is, Caroline. So we've asked you about your day and blue. There you go.
I just realised something as well.
Go on.
She's a United fan.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I keep inviting fucking United.
I mean, kind of. It's been a while.
Yeah. No, Chrissy's face is just lit up. He keeps inviting his bloody Man United mates onto it without telling me.
Yeah, my family are red.
I've done it by mistake now. Yeah, inviting the bloody red on.
Try and avoid any other followers. So, it's...
I keep singing Blue Moon just to balance things out.
Yeah. Anyway, what does the future look like for you then, Caroline? Are you settled in Spain? Are you what? And obviously, you talked extensively about the type of people that you're working with, which is lovely. But what does the next sort of 5 years look like? Would you say? Your boys will grow up into high school?
Yeah. Well, this might make you, I don't know, English people tend to gasp at this one, but we kind of want to come back to the UK.
No.
No. I mean, I change my mind every other day, but we've fallen in love with Sheffield, funnily enough.
Okay.
I know. It's wonderful. I love Sheffield.
The outskirts of Sheffield are gorgeous.
Yeah, I've got some really good friends in Sheffield.
Mate, I'm in Huddersfield. I'm not exactly miles away. I know what it's
like.
Well,
one of the things for us is, is that we want the boys potentially to have a British education.
Yeah.
Because they speak fluent English with a bit of a Spanish accent. But, we know that English is the language of the world. Like if they are, if they have an English education, that's going to do well for their prospects. So that's on the horizon in some ways. But like I say, I change my mind every time I look at the sky and it's blue.
But then it's nice. Look, we can see the sunshine coming through.
Yeah, I know. It's been nice. We've had a lot of rain lately, but so that's one thing that's sort of hovering there because we don't want to stay where we are forever.
Okay. What's your other half called? I've forgotten.
It's called Joanne.
Joanne, that's it. Yes.
Yeah.
I always say it's a name that whenever I see it written down, I'm going, that's odd. But
Yeah.
obviously, it's a typical
Well,
Spanish
it's
name.
the Catalan version of Juan.
Yes.
Juan.
Yeah. But I always joke because it looks like Joan written down,
Yes.
the woman's name Joan, and you pronounce it
Right.
like Joanne, the girl's
right.
name Joanne. So
Yeah, that's
seen
going to get
pictures.
confusing. You move
Yeah.
to Sheffield, that's going to get confusing. I'm sorry.
really fast.
Oh, she's
Well-
one of the lesbians, I think.
I know,
The simple
it's funny.
folk in Sheffield.
It's funny. I mean, that's why we chose the names we chose for our boys, Oscar and Oliver, because they work semantically in Catalan, Spanish, and English. It was hard. We were like really trying to find names that we liked, but also that worked, so they don't get
Lovely.
on wherever they are.
Yes.
But yeah, and then work-wise, I want to grow. I'm quite ambitious. I would like to get to my next level in business, and
Which is? What is your next
well,
level?
I'd like to.
Franchising?
I'd like to double my income without working any extra hours. That's that's the dream.
Yeah.
Work-life balance is huge for me. I have my boys. Joanne has he has quite a high-pressure career. So like,
What does he do?
He's what does he do? I don't know, something corporate.
This isn't good.
Commercial projects and development or something for a big multinational in
Project manager.
Yes,
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
At
It's
European
transferable.
level,
You could, if you moved across
yeah,
the UK.
absolutely. What was the question? Where was I going?
Where you go from
Future.
here? 5 years.
Yes. So, double my. So, yeah, work-life balance is really important. But I would like to have more clients, more money, and maintain the balance that I've got. I work probably 5 or 6 hours a day. Have the long Spanish lunch between 1 and 3. Have the kids home. I want to be there to be able to take them to the doctors and things like that. So I don't want to get to that point where I'm super busy. But yeah, I want to grow. One of the things that I'm finding really important for that next stage for me is getting really tighter on my message. Because for a long time I've been a generalist. I'm like, I work with all levels of business, because the niche has been the ethical piece. But then you get to a point where I'm like, I've got some clients who are like multi-six figures and other clients who can't get a client, where do I want to be in that spectrum? So I'm really honing in on what I call like mid-level.
Not the startups and not the multimillionaires,
Yes.
the kind of, the growth.
I talk about
space.
feast and famine. So it's that stage where you're like, maybe you have a really good month because you get 2 new clients and it's like, yeah, and then nothing for a couple of months and you start panicking. My big thing is like, really supporting me all to get to that place. Because I still remember being there and it's horrible where you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay the bills next month, And so, helping like what mid-stage business owners kind of get to that place of like consistent recurring income, basically. Yeah. But it's like turning the ship because I'm starting to talk about the things that are important to those people, and then I'm getting a bit of pushback from certain sectors of my audience because my audience is much broader than that. So that's an interesting journey for me because it's been a long time since I honed my message.
Do you almost need to, if you take out Mondays and Fridays from the equation, so you've got the 3 days in the middle, 1 day for everybody, but the other 2 days I'll focus on the people I really want, and you get to the point where that 2 days starts encroaching into the 3rd day, so then you can drop all the poor schmucks that you don't want to work with anymore, or create some kind of community project for them.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have a course, I think, is what I'll do. Like I will have something for those people, but I guess it's my content and what I say on my website has got to shift now, and that feels scary.
Yeah, always
Just feel a
does.
bit scary.
Change is scary.
So
Go on. Sorry, after you, Chris.
No, I'm just going to say I've really enjoyed the chat today. I think it's been absolutely brilliant. And if people, I'd love to receive your newsletter. So if anybody else wants to receive the newsletter that you're so passionate about, how would they receive it? How would they get in touch?
I just on my website, so carolineleon.com, which is Leon. And I have a newsletter tab on there. So
great.
I used to get it. I don't know why I'm not getting it anymore. Maybe when she's getting dull and boring.
Am I in your spam folder?
No.
I would notice if you unsubscribed, and I would.
You would do, and then send me a bold message or something.
I would hunt you down as well.
Dear so-called friend, Mr. Brown. Well, yeah, look, let's wrap things up. I know, Chris has got to be somewhere else, and so does Caroline. So, look, Caroline, as she said, carolineleon.com. Sorry, I'm so British at times. If you want to find out more about me, if you want to talk about podcasts, basically, if you want to use a podcast as a tool for marketing your business or for a PR tool, everything from the planning and the strategy, the putting it together, the editing of the music, the social media stuff afterwards, northernpods.com, and you can find out all about me. And Christopher?
Yeah, very similar. LinkedIn's always a great place to be able to catch me. Or my website is agentsof.co.uk.
Right. Kaz, let's try not to leave it 25 years again, especially if you're moving, especially not if you're moving to Sheffield. In fact, hang around a minute after we finish this. Right. Thank you very much for your time, though. It's been an absolute pleasure to see you again, mate. And I'm glad you look so happy and so well, and things are going good for you. Christopher, I'm seeing you at 1 o'clock, I think, aren't you, for another one?
I think you are, yeah.
We're very popular today. We're very popular. But yeah, until thank you very much for listening. If you've enjoyed this, you can subscribe in the usual places: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, Podverse, RSS. You can find us on the Tiki-Toki, apparently, according to Chris, and Instagram, Facebook, link. Basically, we're there. Or brownandmarsh.co.uk, which give you links to everything. Thank you very much for listening. That's it from me. It's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night.
Brown and Marsh is a Northern Pods production. Find out more at northernpods.com.